today on Divorce Court.
I'm here today because my wife is destroying our marriage with her bad attitude.
Don is very irresponsible. He's selfish, and that led to us being evicted out of our apartment.
When Tonjla gets angry, she goes from 0 to 1,000 in 0.5 seconds.
Don says I have a temper, but everybody knows that. I only have a temper when provoked.
I'm in love with Tonjla, but if Tonjla doesn't change, I'm giving her walking papers. I'm out of here.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Tonjla Williams and Don Williams. The two of you have been married for 5 years, but you have hit a rough patch and have come to see me. Ms. Williams, why don't you tell me what's so wrong in your marriage?
Okay, Judge, we're here today because lately here I've been finding that Don likes chubby women. He socializes on social media as far as poking at chubby women, commenting on their pictures with social media with chubby women. He also went so far as to do a live video feed. The live feed now where it's a feature on Facebook to where now they do live video feeds to him stating and talking about him having this little entourage or whatever with this chubby women. And he actually has 3 different Facebook profiles. He has one that's Don Williams, Don Juan Williams, and Fillmore Williams. And all these profiles he has created throughout the 5 years that we've been married. The last profile that he's created, which is Fillmore Williams, he has a number of maybe 1,200 women on there, and he's created that within the last month. And most of them are women, and most of them are chubby women. So again, I've asked him on several occasions, what is it? Is it the fact that that's your alter ego? Do you like chubby women? What is it about these chubby women? Because as you can see, I'm not no chubby woman. So again, what is it about the chubby women that you like? So, but he says his latest account was the fact that he does it just to entertain. That's still not nothing for you to say to me about you entertaining chubby women and I'm your wife.
Mr. Williams, do you have an entourage of chubby women?
Judge.
Nothing's wrong with chubby women, by the way, but I'm just saying,
I have no preference as far as the type of woman. I married this woman right here. So this is who I love. But, you know, I don't understand as far as, you know, with the Facebook page. I tell her all the time, Facebook is not real to me. You know,
it's not real to you, but you still doing it.
Hang on, give me. Why Don and Don Juan and Fillmore? What's all that about?
Okay. Judge, Don Juan is my real name. That was an old page that I had. Now, this new page...
The first page was Don Williams. The second page was Don Juan Williams. The third page is Fillmore Williams.
I got that.
And I'm understanding who is Fillmore.
Hang on, Mrs. Williams. Why do you need 3?
Well, the first 2 I'm no longer on. So this third page, I created a new page. You know, it's a little bit different as far as the type of people that I have.
That's not true, Judge. The second page he is on.
Hang on.
Now, as far as the chubby women goes, I mean, it's all kind of women on there. And it's guys on there, too, the people that I played.
Very few.
I played football. I went to college, so I got a lot of friends that I went to school with. Also, so she's not mentioning that.
It's very few men.
Just mostly women?
It's mostly women.
Well, what's he saying to these women?
On the first profile, which is Don Williams, that's when he got caught poking this girl, or poking women multiple times. And I asked him...
What is poking?
He says what is poking, but I asked him if we were walking in a mall...
I even know what poking is.
Exactly. And I asked him...
Don't play dumb.
So I asked him, if we was walking in a mall together, would you poke a woman? If you seen and she looked attractive, would you poke that woman? No, you wouldn't. So therefore, don't use the feature on Facebook as far as poking women. That's just common sense.
I understand that you have evidence of his poking practices.
Of this last profile that he's created of Fillmore Williams. I took pictures of the women that's on here and the scandalous
Williams.
women.
I mean,
that's just the name, Judge. I didn't want to put my real name back on it. That's it.
Yeah, but he on social media with these Don Williams, and you got all these friends. You still have multiple friends on Don Williams and on Don Juan Williams, and it's still mostly female. So again, you got created another profile to do the same thing. So what's different? Who is Fillmore Williams?
All of these pictures from Fillmore Williams?
That's Fillmore Williams.
Give Fillmore these pictures.
Yeah, I like to see these pictures, you know.
So he can see what we're talking about.
Okay, these women not fat. I mean, what do you? I don't even know half of them.
Well, I wasn't
That second
asking for an
picture- that second
assessment of
picture,
their
she ain't thin
size.
either.
Judge,
Did you
That second
not
picture,
have
she
them
ain't
on
thin.
your page?
I don't conversate with nobody on Facebook whatsoever. Meet, greet, none of that.
Yes, you do, because that's the
But
problem.
why
we
do you
have?
have 3 social media pages if you don't use
Judge, I'm
them?
only on one though. I'm not on 3. I have 3 pages, but I'm only on one.
Well, if you don't deal with it, why do you have one?
I keep in contact with people I haven't seen in years. That's it. Now, she's only mad because there's more women on my page than men.
Are all the women that you know on the heavy side and wear really tight clothing and take pictures of their cleavage? Because that's pretty much
Judge.
what you got there.
Judge. Okay, on this Fillmore Williams page, I have my principal, some coach. I have a lot of important people that I respect.
I understand. I know a lot of important people too. And I have a lot of people I respect. But they don't take pictures of their cleavage and send them to me. And I
Exactly.
want to know.
Exactly.
Judge, they're not, wait a
Exactly.
minute, they're not sending me.
They're not sending him the pictures, but they're posting these pictures on their own personal page. But he goes so far as to click like or comment.
Wait
like
a minute.
One,
No.
It was one
She's
particular
going way
chick.
back. Wait a minute.
Hey.
It was one particular
Mr. Williams,
female.
how much time do you spend on any given day on social media?
Well, but at that time, I mean, roughly not that long. I mean, probably about an hour or 2 a day. Just
An hour or 2 a day. You don't. You're not just chit-chatting with folks you haven't seen in years.
I'm not. No, not like she say I am. I am not. I don't know where she get this from, but you know what it is. It's just
I get it
her
from what
conscience
he-
is.
It's not my conscience. He wants to
Why do
blame
you,
my
no,
conscience.
hang
Let me
on.
tell
Why do
you.
you say her conscience is bothering her?
Because she's the one on social media in them boxes with guys.
Well, okay. Let's find out what Mrs. Williams is doing on social
let's
media.
do that.
In her inbox.
Let's do that. She got a guy all the way from Dallas calling her, blowing up her phone. So she finally tell me, okay, well, this is this guy. He like me. He be sending me money.
So did you have a sugar daddy in Dallas? So Mr. Williams has intimated that you have an active Facebook page yourself, and a lot of dudes are on yours. Care to explain that?
Yes, I do. I was in the military, so therefore a lot of my friends are not so much as in the same state as us, but they're all over. So therefore I do network with a lot of my friends from the military. But as far as me socializing, no, nobody's in my inbox. I'm not commenting on any pictures that I see. If I see a handsome looking guy, I might make a mental note and say, and keep on going, but I'm not gonna go so far as to comment. I'm not gonna comment because, again, I'm gonna, like I explained to him, I'm gonna do exactly what I'm gonna do in your presence. If I'm not gonna give a guy a compliment in your presence, I'm not gonna do it on social media. Like I say, I'll make a mental note and keep it moving.
Mr. Williams, you seem to indicate that she has a sugar daddy in Dallas.
Look, this girl is delusional. You know,
I know what he's talking about.
You know, from jump, even when we first started dating, we were dating, we moved in together. She had a guy all the way from Dallas. I got tired in Dallas. So she got a guy all the way from Dallas calling her, blowing up her phone, calling her all kind of nights. You know, like, okay, we sleep 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, come on. So she finally tell me, okay, well, this is this guy. He like me, he be sending me money. I'm like,
again. Note what he said.
Hang on, let him finish, go ahead.
And so, you know, I give her this. She told me about it, but she had to, because if we in the bed sleeping late hours of the day, when her phone ring or a text, she gonna have to explain herself.
So did you have a sugar daddy in Dallas?
That was before his time. So therefore, when Dunn and I seen that we were getting serious, and then when he proposed, I cut it off with the guy. But the guy was still persistent as far as calling me, and I had called myself correcting him, telling him, don't call me in the middle of the night. That's disrespectful to my husband. So don't do that. But he was still aggressively texting and calling, sending emails. So I felt like I was like, the next time I'm gonna tell my husband. So I got Dunn to address it.
I got you. Now, Miss Williams, tell me what happened with the woman that you ended up getting assault charges on.
It was a criminal mischief charge,
All right.
actually. My mother had called me stating that my grandmother was not responsive. We stayed on the opposite sides of town. So when my mama called me and said that my grandmother wasn't responding, I was in panic mode. I was rushing. So I was on the freeway and I exited not knowing that the lady lived in the same apartment complex as my mama, which she lives in a senior citizen apartment complex. The lady pulled in and I admit I was following her a little bit closely, but I didn't hit her. So when she pulled over to throw up gestures as to what I was doing, I flipped her off and I kept on going. When I got to the call box for my mama to punch me in the apartments, she got out, she pulled up behind me, got out her car, came to my driver's side window, and we both was doing expletives. I was telling her to get back in the car because this is not what she want. So she kept on saying what she had to say, and as she was walking away, she said, "What a way to act in front of your daughter, you N-word." And so at that time, when she got back in her car, I lost it because I was already under distress. So you're not finna call me no N-word and then just walk away with it. So I got out and I jumped on her hood and I damaged her hood. And I admit I was wrong for damaging her hood, but again, like I explained to the judge then, we both were responsible for that. She provoked me just as well as she got what she deserved when she called me the N-word.
Let me explain why you were wrong.
The next thing I know, she coming outside, she got a Louisville Slugger in her hand. She goes straight to my trunk and just start Barry Bondsing. I mean, just start swinging at my trunk. Dents all in my trunk.
Did you take a Louisville Slugger to his car? If somebody put a gun to my head and made me hit somebody, that would happen. But no one can make me do anything by uttering a word in my presence. No one. And what you want to teach your daughter is that there are a lot of ignorant, foolish, ridiculous people out there who will do anything that will make you angry, upset, carry on, and to the extent you allow them, that's your bad. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Don't teach your daughter to jump up on the car, because you know what that woman thought. See, just like I said.
Yeah.
Just like I said, that's who they are.
Well, Judge, can I intervene right quick?
You with me on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Does she ever get lively at home?
What? Judge, oh, Lord. I got a new luxury car.
It wasn't no luxury car, it was a lemon.
Hang on, let
It was
Mr.
a
Williams
lemon.
speak.
It was a luxury car. I had just got it. So we get into it. I forget what we get into it for. The next thing I know, she coming outside, she got a Louisville Slugger in her hand.
Again,
Hang
Judge.
on,
She
Mrs.
goes straight
Williams.
to my trunk and just start Barry Bondsing it. I mean, just start swinging at my trunk. Dents all in my trunk. For what? I mean, like, because we in the house arguing. I've never did anything. I've never destroyed anything.
Did you take a Louisville Slugger to his car?
Yes, I did.
And why?
Again, we were arguing, and then he talking about like this a luxury car. The brake light was on, the check engine light on, the radio.
It
was just a shell.
I don't care if
it was just a shell of a car. The car was a
I
lemon.
don't care if it was a tricycle. Why would you take a Louisville Slugger to a piece of machinery he just bought?
I had asked him to leave that night, and to keep down confusion, he wouldn't leave. So I know he prided himself in that shell of a car. So I took the bet and was like, if you ain't gonna leave now, you finna leave after I beat this car up.
See, I mean, that's absurd. That's crazy. You know,
It
I've
is.
never
It
destroyed
is.
anything.
We're gonna get to that in a minute. How is it that you two got evicted from your house? How did that happen?
Again, Dunn being irresponsible. At that time, he had a job, but he paid the rent late. We got from the point of paying half, but he was paying just the rent, and I would pay the utilities. Dunn didn't mention to me about him being late on the rent or anything. On my way to work, I work nights. So on my way to work, I get a notice on the door saying 3 days to vacate. I called Dunn, and I asked him, what is this notice about? He was trying to blow me off, telling me don't worry about it. He was gonna make a payment. He made a payment, and then 2 weeks later, they came back and they locked us out. But as the conversation of me asking him, what do you mean you're gonna make a payment? That's when he packed his stuff that day and he left. and he left. So after he left 2 weeks later, I get a lock on the door to where I can't get in the apartment. And the lady told me that we actually then had to move. It was a holiday weekend. So I asked him why we have to move, because she said non-payment of rent. The payment that Dunn paid was $100 towards $1,000 late rent and late fees. Like I told him, that ain't gonna do nothing. $100 towards $1,000, that ain't putting a dent in the rent.
Mr. Williams, I can understand people having financial difficulty. Did you fail to tell her that you guys were gonna get put out?
You know, my hours had slowed down. I'm working in the oil and gas, so it was like, okay, I need some help. She couldn't help me because she paying restitution. She wasn't making that much money on her job.
But the lights weren't getting cut off. My part was the utilities.
Judge,
but the lights
she
weren't getting
couldn't
cut off.
pay anything, Judge. The kind of money she was making on her job, she couldn't pay nothing.
But again, that job I held 5 years, and it sustained us when he didn't have a job.
Why would you want the job
Get
that long?
the picture.
And you're
Crystal
not even
clear.
making it. You got to
know exactly what's happening. About to tell you. The way the economic system is set up, there is a state, city, and federal tax on stupidity. The feds get you when you don't pay your taxes in the first place. Then you got to pay the stupidity tax on top of that tax.
Right.
The state gets you when you jump on somebody's car and beat it up. Then you have to pay a fine and court fees and restitution. That, again, is the stupidity tax. If you get into a house or rent that you can't afford and you're not taking care of your business, the late fee, it can happen every once in a while. But if you're in an apartment that you can't afford, living above your means, you end up paying a lot of late fees, and those late fees are, once again, the stupid tax. Why give away your money?
I agree.
I never believe in giving away your money. Your problem is, first of all, I feel for you. I do. You're still standing.
Yeah.
Way to go, brother. I hope you're fine. Stay with your mother, whoever it is.
Yeah.
I like you, but you got an issue with anger. You don't get angry. Angry gets you. Angry hijacks your head and allows you to behave in a manner that you would not permit your children to behave in. And every time anger gets you, you end up paying the stupid tax. And you can't afford it. So if I were you, and I understand that oftentimes anger is a function of fear when you're always just getting from month to month and week to week and trying hard and got the kids, and the brother that's with you is not quite pulling his weight, and you're wondering whether tomorrow you'll be able to eat or stay or live or be okay. It's frightening, it's scary, and anger is fear's bitchy little sister. It shows up. She's afraid, so I'm going to make a lot of noise, and I'm going to hoop and holler so she doesn't feel fearful anymore. But that doesn't solve anything. It exacerbates your problem. It makes it worse. We've got so much to talk about. You've come here on a Save My Marriage. We've talked about finances. We've talked about Facebook. We've talked about all manner of things, and all of these things need to be explored further. So I think we're going to need to come back on a new session so I can give you the time that you deserve.
I get a picture with her and a guy, some old ugly dude. Oh, this is how I'm spending my Valentine's Day, with him and her. I've never disrespected her with another woman, period. Ever.
On social media, what you call that?
If I can give you some peace, do you think you could back off some of your positions and give this thing a chance?